Okay, so before I started working here, well, it was a long time ago. It's been 11 years. So I used to be a pharmacy tech. So I worked in pharmacy for 6 years. And so I would say that I didn't have a lot of the skill sets that I was able to develop here. I didn't have the confidence that I have now. So yeah, like I dealt with the customers. I think that's one of the skills that really helped me, that I was able to carry over. But other than that, yeah, I was not confident. I didn't think I was ever gonna be as successful as I am now. So, I mean, I had in my mind a very limited idea of what success looked like. So I remember that I thought, okay, if I ever get to make X amount of money, that's what success looks like. And yeah, now I'm like, look back and I'm like, oh my God, that was so little, you know? But yeah, like I had smaller dreams, I guess, or I didn't think more was possible. So that's something that I've learned here, that the sky's the limit, that you can always do more, that there's so much opportunity. I had kind of like a vision, I don't know, like I thought that a girl like me only gets to do so much, you know? So yeah, that was before. It was very different. I was very different. I was never shy, but I was definitely not as confrontational as I am today. I know, like I have my opinions and I have big opinions, and I'm not afraid to say what I want to say because I'm confident. I didn't have that before. So before I was more amiable, you know, I would stay quiet because I didn't want conflict, or because I wasn't really sure that what I was saying, you know, I wasn't confident. So that has definitely changed. A lot of my friends have seen that change and they tell me, oh, like you've changed. But yeah, I have changed. I have evolved, and now I don't stay quiet. And, you know, I guess it goes all back to confidence. Being confident, like when you've done it and when you've seen how far, like, you know, everything that you've done, like then you say, well, if I did it once, I can do it again, right? In contrast, back then, I was very young and, you know, immature, and I didn't have a lot of experience. And so I just thought that that life that I had, that was it. I'm an immigrant. I remember when I got here, all my family was in Cuba. I came here by myself, and it was just me and my dad. My dad had 2 jobs, so I didn't see my dad. So my entire adolescence, it was just me. My mom was in Cuba. She was retained by the government, so I spent 5 years from age 12 to almost 18 with basically by myself, which are the formative years, right? And in that time, it's very easy to feel helpless, you know what I mean? And so I created this mentality that, of course, you know, like this is, you know, like there's no more, like, you know, you feel kind of like helpless in a way. And also because, so I don't want to get into like a big thing, but so basically because all my family was in Cuba, I didn't want to be here. I wanted to go back, not because I wanted to go back to Cuba, but because I wanted to be with my family. I was very lonely here. I had nobody. So I decided I don't need to learn the language because I'm going back. First of all, I live in Miami. You don't need to speak English here. And second, I'm going back, so who cares? So even though I came here when I was 12 and I did middle school, high school, it was only when I started college that I actually started to speak English. Like I had no choice at that point, you know? So my accent, I mean, I have an accent, but it was really, really bad. So in college, I had a terrible accent because I never practiced. So I said, how could I even make it in the business world, right? Because that's what I do. It's business, it's management, it's business. So a girl like that, an immigrant, right, that speaks the language so bad with a thick accent, how could I ever be successful? How could I ever make it, like, you know, past the regular, you know, pharmacy tech job? So when I started working here, that is a good thing about having people around you that uplift you and that see your talent even when you don't see it yourself. So I always want to do 100%. I don't care what job it is. I don't care if I'm cleaning a bathroom or whatever I'm doing. I have to always be the best. I'm very competitive and I always want to do the best. But when I started working here, having Hani and Greg kind of recognizing my talent, and they would tell me, you can do more, and I didn't believe them. And I was like, what do you mean? You're crazy. I cannot do more. This is it, you know? They always saw in me things that I didn't see in myself. I remember when they wanted me to be a manager, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I don't have the skills for that. I cannot do it. When other people are eager to step in because they want to grow, back then I was very afraid. I had a lot of fear and I didn't believe in myself. And they were always very supportive, very encouraging, and they gave me the opportunity. So they always saw it before I saw it. Now with time, right, when I started believing them, right? Because they would say, Amalia, you can do this. And I would be like, no, I can't. And then I try it and then, oh, I did it. So you do that so many times and then you start saying, well, maybe I can. So I guess that it helped me believe in myself, like being here, but specifically being mentored directly by Hani and Greg. That is what allowed me to get the confidence that I have today. And it allowed me to see what I see myself today. And it allowed me to be as successful as I am today. They gave me the opportunity and they believed in me. I did the work, but they saw it and they gave me the opportunity. It's not a task, it's opportunity. And is when you believe in somebody and you give them the opportunity and you push them, that can change somebody's life. That can change somebody's trajectory. Because you can have all the talent in the world, that if you're in an environment where people don't recognize it and they don't give you the opportunities and the tools for you to be successful, you're gonna be stuck or you're gonna feel stuck and you're gonna feel unappreciated, right? So it's a formula. It takes people believing in you, giving you the opportunity, and then you jump into the opportunity and doing your part. So they believed in me and they pushed me and they gave me the opportunity, and I do that with people. Whenever I see talent around me, and I think that's one of my skills, I'm very good at seeing talent in people, recognizing talent very early on, even when they don't see it themselves. I'm good at that, and I'm good at spotting talent. And so when I see somebody that has the talent and that has the will, because that's another thing, you have to have the right attitude, right? So if they have the talent and they want to do it and they have the will, then it is a privilege for me to pour into those people and to kind of pay forward what Hani and Greg did for me. I feel like I owe it to them. It's part of my purpose to do for others what others have done for me. I realize that Greg says this a lot, there's no growth in the comfort zone and there's no comfort in the growth zone. When you want to grow, when the idea of growth gets into your head and you become obsessed with that, you realize that the only way is to change. Me, 5 years ago, could not do the job that I do today. I had to develop certain skills to be able to do my job today. So having the talent, it's not enough, because I've always had the talent. The talent has always been there, right? But you have to be willing to go through the process and develop those skills. A lot of the process is pain. You fail, and then it's how you react to that failure or to those obstacles that really creates that, those skills, or that builds your character to be able to deal with bigger problems in the future. And so it's not just the talent, it's your ability to wanna always evolve. You have to evolve. You cannot, young me would not be here today if I didn't change. So when you understand that change is necessary and is part of the process, then you always thinking, how can I do this differently? How can I change this? You know, like it's a mind shift that you have to have. I was very resistant to change at the beginning. Nobody likes change, right? Everybody likes the comfort. But when I realized that change and growth kind of go hand in hand, I'm like, okay, I need to change. So I'm always thinking, how can I change? If I get to the end of the year and I look back and I compare myself to who I was last year and I don't see anything different, I have failed. I have to see something different. I have to say, oh, I changed this, I'm doing this different now. I have to see some sort of change for me to say I had an effective year. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going backwards. So in theory, right, because I take all these seminars and I read all these books, so we all know in theory that failure is part of the process. When you're going through the failure, it's not fun. It's very, very painful. And it's very discouraging. And it's, you know, and you question yourself, is this for me? Am I good enough? I personally have imposter syndrome. I'm always questioning myself if I'm good enough, did I get lucky? Or am I actually good enough that I deserve to be here? I'm always thinking that way, and a lot of people that I work with have that same mindset. So I understand them when they don't feel good enough. I get it because it happens to me all the time. But first of all, I rely a lot on God and the Bible, right? Because I say, for example, we're doing a Bible study about Elijah, right? And so Elijah had to go to the brook or the desert, right? And he had to stay there for a long time. And it was part of his process, right? Sometimes I feel like I am in that, you know, in the brook myself. But I have to believe that if Elijah was able to overcome that and God had a purpose for him, why am I different, right? We can see ourselves a lot in the Bible and the stories in the Bible. So whenever I feel like I'm failing, I have to seek God, because to me, that is the only way that you can move forward. I cannot do things on my own strength. Again, yes, I've done my part, but the level of success that I have reached, I don't think that's me alone. I think there's a spiritual component there, right? That I had to rely on God, that I cannot do it on my own. So when you have that, so when you're failing, you just have to step back and say, God, what do you want to teach me? Take control, show me the way, give me clarity, give me wisdom. And every time I am failing or I am in a situation where I'm not happy with results or with what's happening, I'm always thinking, I try to push myself through the pain and to think, why am I supposed to learn from this? What can I take from this to make sure that in the future, I don't go through this again? So what I've noticed is, again, people don't like to change. Let's say we have a system, we have processes. They work, but I can tell you that the processes that we have today and the system we have today are not going to get us to double our revenue. We are going to have to do things very different to double our revenue, and we want to get there, right? So people don't like to change or to fix what's not broken. Sometimes you're pushed to make these changes. Most of the time, I mean, the biggest changes that we've made in this firm in the past is when something went wrong. Things have to go wrong for you to be like, this needs to change. And then you make a radical change and it's a game changer. And then it's like, oh my God, why didn't we do this before? And then you realize that, again, for me, because I'm a Christian, I think it's God. God is pushing you to make the change that you need to get to where you want to be. So you're like praying, God, I want this, I want this. Let's say we want to make 100 million in revenue in 3 years. So I'm like, God, please, we want to get there, help us get there. But the funny thing about God is that He doesn't give you what you want in the way you expect it, right? So God will make you fail, so you learn from that, so you develop the skills that will get you to the 100 million. So right now, I'm in a time where I feel challenged, I feel stretched, but I'm thinking, why do I need to learn from this? What can I get out of this? What are the changes that I need to do to make sure that I, come out of this victorious? So I guess having that mindset always, instead of feeling defeated, always see it as an opportunity. Failure is an opportunity, not the final destination. So if you see it that way, I think that's the difference between the people that move forward and accomplish things and the people that give up and fail. My team, I coach my team. I am the leader of my team. So it always comes from the head. So I try to teach them this. We all have to be on the same page. So whenever they feel like they're failing, I try to encourage them and try for them to see it a different way. So again, it's hard to, in the moment, to feel like, oh, this is an opportunity. It's hard. But when you are surrounding yourself with like-minded people, it's easier. It's easier to go through it. So yes, this is something that me and my leadership team, this is the mindset for all of us. And we, together, we go through the obstacles with that mindset as a team.